day, new shit. This your motherfucking boy, King Known NBA Music Talk. We reading the transcripts from the Diddy trial, and things have gotten interesting as Don Richard just did her testimony, and this doesn't seem like, I can't say this isn't related to like the sex trafficking case, what Puffy is actually being charged with. You feel me? This is more like a domestic violence case. That's what it's looking like when it appears when I read some of Don Richard's testimony. And then, you know, one of the key witnesses, Cassie's former best friend, Carrie Morgan, got on the stand and shit. And that's when things got interesting to me, because it's just like, oh, this lady knows a little bit more than what Don knows. Don is just talking about her experiences, you know, things that I've already seen and things that I've already heard from Don. You know, so that's what I read, things that she's already been interviewed for and things of that nature. So, you know, because before we get to the transcripts, you know, let's talk about what Diddy is actually charged with. So Sean Diddy Combs is charged with sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, along with 2 counts of sex trafficking and 2 counts of transporting to engage in prostitution. He has pled not guilty to all charges. Obviously, he's facing up to life. So, basically, prosecutors allege that Combs ran a criminal enterprise that engaged in various and illegal activities, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Damn. These charges stem from accusations that Combs used force, threats, and coercion to compel women to engage in commercial sex acts. Each count carries a maximum sentence of life in prison, mandatory minimum 15 years. And the 15 years is what I predicted that he would get. Then these charges relate to allegations that Combs transported individuals across state lines for the purpose of engaging in prostitution. Each count carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. So, from Cassie's perspective, there are things related that could get Puffy in trouble. Like her testimony about Jonathan Oden and the other sex workers. Even though what's missing is the threats. You know what I'm saying? Is the threats to me. You know, and all that other stuff to get those workers to coerce in sex acts. And they would do it in different states. So that would be incriminating and such. But as far as Cassie's character, what I was talking about on the previous videos was Cassie good girl image got ripped to shreds by Combs' team. You know, because everybody's looking at Cassie like she's some innocent girl. And then once they found out that she was down with it, you know, the jury is probably looking at Cassie like she's a Maxwell. You know what I mean? I can't pronounce the lady's first name that ran with Jeffrey Epstein. But, you know, that's what the jury is probably looking at Cassie as. Y'all feel exactly what I'm saying, though. But let's get to these transcripts. Let's go. Let's get to the damn fucking part. All right, so AUSA Slavic asks, you know, because he is cross-examining Don Richard now, the former member of Dirty Money and Danity Kane. So when Mr. Combs, because they're continuing on from yesterday, so AUSA Slavic asked, when Mr. Combs told you people could come up missing, how did you interpret that? Dawn says that people could die. I couldn't believe that this could be the beginning of a journey for us. As Dirty Money? Yes. What did you observe? He would drag her, for referring to Cassie, and kick her and punch her in the mouth. What would prompt these acts of violence? His lawyer, Westmoreland, says, objection. Judge overrules. When she would speak up for herself, AUSA Slavic, who in security witnessed these things, D-Rock and Bonds. Where did Miss Ventura get hit? Her knees, her face all over. Did there come a time where you were in New York for a festival? Yes, in Central Park. In the residence, what happened? He punched Cassie. She came into the bathroom crying. You could see her upset, like she was hurt. Combs' lawyer, Westmoreland, says, objection. Judge says, sustained. What injuries did you observe? A swollen eye. Why'd you remain with Miss Ventura after this incident? I wanted her to feel supported. What's this? The Central Park event. It's a photo of Cassie in sunglasses, and Dawn was with her in that picture. Why did you wear them? Solidarity. You see, here's the thing, though. The domestic violence shit, you know, depending on how long ago this was, I don't think it's going to hold up because it was so long ago and the statute of limitations thing. So he ain't going to get charged with the domestic violence because, first of all, nobody went to the police about it. Nobody reported it when it happened. So these people ain't got no legs to stand on as far as convicting Puffy with domestic violence. However, the only way this is really going to work is if the jury feels sorry for Cassie. But since Cassie's image has been ripped apart by Combs' defense team, Cassie looks bad. The next assault, who was there? D-Rock, Capricorn Clark, and Harv Pierre. Who was Mr. Pierre at Bad Boy answering to Sean Combs? Did they do anything? None of us did anything. And that's where they fucked up at. Because if this was reported, if somebody would have went to the police about it, they would have a leg to stand on. But however, you know how it is in this music industry. You report something, you probably gonna end up dead within the next 3 months. And that's the double-edged sword. If you don't say nothing, he don't go to jail. If you do say something, he may go to jail, but he could send people to have you killed. I ain't ratting, but I just followed the music industry for as long as I can remember, and this happens. Dawn says when we drove back to LA, he slapped Cassie in the mouth and told her to shut the fuck up. How did the passengers respond? We stayed silent for the whole ride. It be like that. I asked myself if he did that to somebody he supposedly loved, what would he do to an employee? So I approached Mr. Combs with the softness, meaning that, you know, she watches her tone around Puffy because she don't want to get slapped. Dawn is right. Stay out of other niggas' relationships. Do not play the fucking hero. The heroes always get killed. But anyway, did you see Mr. Combs doing drugs? Yes, weed, ketamine, Molly, cocaine. Damn. Opiates? That I never saw. Who bought him the drugs? One stop. He had it all, including Plan B and birth control. Did you see Mr. Combs with guns? Yes, handguns on his lower back. Who had guns? Security, D-Rock and Bonds. What did you do after Bad Boy? Sing. Whenever I got momentum, I'd get a FaceTime from him. How would you speak to him? Very soft. I always call him bro. Why did you not disclose the abuse you seen? I was told not to by Mr. Combs and Harv Pierre. When did you speak out? 2024. See, if you reported shit when it happened, he could have got prosecuted. But, with a defense team like Puffy, he was going to get a slap on the wrist. He was not going to go to jail for domestic violence. He was going to do anger management. I saw Miss Ventura take the stand and tell the truth. Westmoreland says, objection, judge says, sustained. Now back to the AUSA and Don Richard. Did you see Miss Ventura file a civil lawsuit, and did you file your own? Yes. Judge calls up Westmoreland to cross-examine Dawn. You are aware there's a motion to dismiss your lawsuit. I have civil lawyers. You sat down with the prosecutors and your allegations have been changed. I've been consistent. You testify he attempted to hit her about the eggs and Miss Ventura dropped down in a fetal position, right? Yes. Did you ever say you heard a pan hit the wall? You didn't see it. I don't recall. Would you agree with me that it's been hard to keep your story straight with respect to this egg incident? I told it as close as I could. The day after you say Mr. Combs said people go missing. Yes. Let's do your interview. Let's go to your interview on March the 18th, 2025. You did not say anything about Mr. Combs told you people go missing. I don't recall that. No worries. I'm going to show you a document for the parties, only page 5. Isn't it true the first time you said this was a week ago? Would you like me to show you your previous interviews? I know what I said. Ooh, getting spicy. You said Mr. Combs made a death threat, one that you didn't recall 7 times. Let's move to the alleged incident before the Central Park concert. You are aware that there was a camera crew, not in the bathroom. You were filmed at the park. Are you aware if the video has been turned over? No. About the guns. You didn't tell the prosecutors about I saw guns at Diddy's house. They didn't ask. You never saw Mr. Combs pull a gun out and wave it around, load bullets and cock it. He just had it. Did you tell the government you never saw Mr. Combs do cocaine? I don't recall. Your testimony has changed on quite a few things. As time progresses, I remember more. You saw One Stop sell drugs. You saw him take money. Yes. All right, 1 second. Didn't you tell the government you never saw anyone pay him? So you lied, right? No. It was you who reached out to Mr. Combs to work with him again, right? Yes. But he had threatened you, right? You asked to work with him again, right? Yes. Okay. I see what they're doing. The songs you released on your own have not reached the level of what you released with Danny D. Kane and Diddy Dirty Money, right? True. And you reached out to Mr. Combs to make more money, right? Yes. Now, this is the thing. Dawn Richard was not going to have a successful solo career without a major backing. And nobody was reaching out for her to do a major backing except the person that discovered you and put you on anyway, which is Puffy. So, of course, she called Puff, despite the threats. AUSA goes back to speaking to Dawn. Why did you file your civil lawsuit? When I worked for Sean Combs, I had no sleep. The conditions. In every meeting with the government, did you say that Mr. Combs beat Miss Ventura? Yes. Why did you reach out to Mr. Combs? One of the judges on Making the Band, Lorianne Gibson, I wanted to reach out. Objection. Sustained. How often would you hear from Mr. Combs after you left Diddy Dirty Money? Sporadic. Why did you reach out? To help Kalina Harper. No further options. Now, Combs' lawyer, Westmoreland, says, may we have a brief conference at the bench? Okay, so then it's back on. So, Westmoreland goes back up there to talk to Dawn. He asks, you admit you reached out to Mr. Combs to re-engage. You claim only to have a relationship with Lori Ann Gibson, but if it got back together, you'd have to see Mr. Combs more, right? Yes. You sued for money, right? No, for justice. But the suit asks for money, right? Yes. No further questions. Charm time laugh. The judge says, Miss Slavic. The AUSA says, no, redirect. Break? All right, so they take a break and shit. So now things get interesting when Cassie's best friend, Carrie Morgan, gets on the stand. All right, so the AUSA asks Carrie Morgan, where do you live? Los Angeles. Who is this? They show him a photo. They show her a photo. Cassie Ventura. What was your relationship? We were best friends. Her boyfriend assaulted me. Do you see him here? Yes, in a yellow sweater. Let the record reflect the witness had identified defendant Sean Combs. Why are you here? I got a subpoena. Where did you live with Cassie? Manhattan. Did Cassie drink? Not much. Any drugs? None. What was she doing for work? Modeling. Then she recorded me and you. When did you learn they were dating? 2007. Did you travel with Cassie and Mr. Combs? Yes, Ibiza and Miami. What drugs did Mr. Combs provide? Molly, marijuana, and ecstasy. What did Mr. Combs take? All. Did you take drugs alone with Cassie? Opiates. How did Mr. Combs act? He would yell at Cassie. She lost her confidence big time. Lost her spark. Did Mr. Combs talk down to Cassie? Yes, about her looks. Who she talked to. Did he contact you looking for her? A lot. Sometimes he would call me 50 times in a row. Would others call you for him? Yes, Christina Coram or KK. Did you witness assaults? Yes, first in the Hollywood Hills. Ruben, one of his first security guards, was there. What did Mr. Combs do to Cassie? He kicked her. What did she do? Nothing. I told Ruben to do something. He indicated he wouldn't. Then what? We left the house. Cassie and I were hiding by someone's front steps. At the next time, in Jamaica, I saw him drag her by her hair. I ran to get back my purse and my phone so we could leave. What did you see next? I thought she was knocked out. Then she got up and ran into a wooded area. Sorry about this. I'm on a dirt road. All right. What happened next? There were 2 golf carts in the driveway. I got in one and Sean got in the other. We were in different directions looking for Cassie. Did you find her? Yes. Then we hid in the ditch whispering. What about the incident in Comstock Apartments? Cassie came back with a hoodie covering her face. Then Sean came and tried to get in, hitting the door with a hammer. I called D-Rock. I wonder, is this the D-Rock? Like Biggie's D-Rock? Or a different D-Rock? I'm curious. Did he get in? No. Then the police came. What happened? Nothing happened. Cassie would not show them her ID. They left a card. Read this message. Did you send an attachment? Yes, a photo of the card the detective left. Did Mr. Combs ever assault you? Yes. He hit me with a wooden coat hanger and choked me. Where did the hanger hit you? Right behind my right ear. What did he express concern about? Who Cassie was cheating on him with? Who did you speak to about it? Ryan, Sean's old assistant. What did he do? Nothing. I have not spoken with Cassie since. Damn. The judge says, this is after they got back from brief lunch, if I let this as is, Miss Ventura could be recalled as a witness. I doubt that we would call her. The defense could call her back to the stand. AUSA says, I doubt that she would be available. Judge says the evidence is out. So now, Agnifilio, Combs' lawyer, is back to cross-examine Carrie Morgan. So, you were Miss Ventura's best friend since 2004. Actually, 2001. We were waiting for the Polaroids to develop. I was living in Buffalo. She was in Connecticut. Then you both were in New York City. I stayed downtown. She moved to Harlem. Have you met Kim Porter? Yes, probably at a concert. Was Cassie ever jealous? Yes. And the other way? Cassie was speaking with Michael B. Jordan and Sean got jealous. She was trying to leave him. You were both using drugs? No, we were in South Africa. Did you learn about Gina? Yes. He was having a full-on relationship with this little girl. Why do you call her that? She acts like that. She's younger than us. Agnifilio says when Sean came and hammered on the door, why did the police come? They said because of the noise. What did they say to you? Cassie was visibly injured but didn't say anything. You two were best friends for 18 years, but now you haven't spoken to her since 2018. That's true. At the danger of being Captain Obvious, that's a long time. She's moved on. Objection. Why haven't you spoken with her? She did not support me after Sean assaulted me. I draw the line at assault. You reached a statement with Miss Ventura. Oh, you reached a settlement with Miss Ventura. My bad. The money came from Mr. Combs. Damn. Agnifilio shows Carrie Morgan's photos and asks, do you know if Louise Hayes is a self-help author about self-affirmation? Yes. Why did you send him this with words of encouragement? I don't remember sending it. Okay. I want to show you a few more photos, but first let's talk about the incident where he put his hands on your neck. Were you and Cassie doing any drugs at the time? No. What did she say? He said, who is she cheating with? You went to urgent care and not the hospital? Right. But you don't know the prosecutors, it was bloody and you went to the hospital? Yeah, I guess the person who typed this kind of fucked it up. I don't remember that. Look at this. Shown to the jury. I see that I said that. Now cross-examination. So the AUSA Foster steps up. Do you remember Mr. Agnifilio asking you about an incident in LA? Objection. Overruled. And he hit her in Jamaica arguing about jealousy. All right, so AUSA Foster cross-examines Carrie Morgan. What happened in Jamaica? He dragged Cassie by her hair a 50-yard hallway. Was he talking about jealousy? No. He said she spent too long in the bathroom. Nothing further. Any recross? Now, Agnifilio says. Next witness is David James. Now, I'm unaware of who David James is, but we about to find out. All right, so the AUSA asks, why are you here? David says, I've been subpoenaed. We're going to go down this list right here. Were you Combs' personal assistant? Okay, so this is Puffy's former personal assistant. From 2007 to 2009. Who is that in this photo? That is David James. That is yourself. Yes. David James says, I went to college in Michigan. Later, I faxed my resume to Bad Boy. Where was the interview? 1710 Broadway. Who did you meet? Tommy, his sister Keisha, and others. How did they test you? They gave me 40 appointments and asked me to make a schedule. You had to know, for example, what time a particular show on Hot 97 came on. What did Mr. Combs ask you? To make a spreadsheet for Miami. I said I'd know his food and restaurant preferences. He asked me why I'd make a good assistant. I said can't stop, won't stop, and then I got the job. AUSA. Did he have others? Miss Robles, Mr. Barber, and others. What would you do as an assistant? Bad Boy to 5, then out to dinner, then to the studio at 3 a.m. We'd get a call time at the end of the night. Did you travel with Mr. Combs as well? Yes. Who were the security staff? D-Rock, Bonds, and Uncle Paulie. Okay, yeah, that's got to be the real D-Rock, since Uncle Paulie's name was mentioned. I think that might have been bro, but I don't think Uncle Paulie was I think Uncle Paulie, Biggie mentioned his name on a song before. This got to be the real D-Rock. All right, so you work 20 hours a day. Yes, security did too. What did security staff tell you? To stay in my lane? Who said that? Roger Bond and Uncle Paulie. Focusing on his personal chef. Who is this? Chef Jordan Atkinson. Did Mr. Combs have girlfriends then? Yes. Kim Porter, Sarah, Tara, Yana, and Cassie. What was your first conversation with Cassie? We were on Star Island. Carrie Morgan was there too. Cassie said this lifestyle is crazy. I asked her, why don't you leave? She says, Sean controls my life. My music, he pays for my apartment. Next conversation. It was about her music, but the album never came out. Did you overhear a conversation? Yes. Mr. Combs said, Kim is my queen out in LA with my family. I have Cassie right where I want her. She's young and moldable. Yikes. Your Honor, how much longer do you want to go? This will be a good place to break. So, all right, so that's it. I guess this is the end. Is this the end? Mama told me one day it was gonna happen. So, ha 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 ha. All right, I guess it's a wrap. So my thoughts about this, I'm thinking, because this is a lot of information, but my thoughts about the Don Richard testimony, Don Richard, whatever the fuck her name is, right? Don from Dirty Money. These are things that she's already said, but Puffy lawyers had her in a corner with that trying to get money shit, her coming back to Puffy after the abuse and Danity Kane and stuff like that. They kind of got her with that, but none of Don's testimony was important to this case like that, because this is about sex trafficking. And then with this David guy, unless you're referring to Puffy taking all these girls on all these vacations and them calling prostitutes everywhere they went, because then that would be sex trafficking. Because, it's not necessarily, I don't know. I mean, from a technical standpoint, that could be prostitution. If you got all these girls rolling with you through all these different cities, and you're calling up people to go freak off and shit, and you paying prostitutes to do so, that could help the case, because that's what he's charged with. Also, the defense's strategy, Combs and his legal team have consistently denied all allegations, claiming that the sexual activity was consensual and that there was no criminal enterprise. The defense is expected to challenge the credibility of the accusers and witnesses, suggesting that they are motivated by financial gain and have unreliable memories. Facts. The defense argues that Puff and had consensual relationships with the women involved, and that the events described were part of their private lives. So it's just basically like, are you trying to get money because this shit is hot, or were you really victims? Because these women were transported from city to city, state to state, and doing all kinds of freak-offs. That could be where they got Diddy, but I don't know if the jury sees it that way. I don't know if the judge sees it that way, because it's up to the jurors. It's not up to us to decide on whether Sean Puffy Combs is guilty. But me, my guess, my heart of hearts, is the case looks shakier. I still say minimum he do 10. That's just me. But this is King Known NBA Music Talk, the Transcripts, and I'm out.